Conclusion. The road that never ends. The greatest mistake one can make is to believe that the best of life is behind them. That once youth has faded, once ambition has softened, there is nothing left to strive for. But this is a lie that too many have accepted. The truth is simpler and far greater. As long as you are alive, your story is still unfolding. Time does not close doors. It opens them. Every day that dawns is not a sign of what has passed, but a promise of what is still to come. The years you have lived are not a burden, but a foundation. And what is a foundation for, if not to build upon? There are those who believe that new dreams are only for the young, that purpose belongs only to those whose hands are quick and whose steps are swift. But this is a misunderstanding of purpose itself. Purpose is not in speed or in youth. It is in the will to move forward, no matter the season of life. A tree that has stood for many years does not cease to grow. It does not look upon its roots and say, "I have done enough." It stretches still toward the sky, seeking more light, more space, more life. So too should we. It is not the passing of years that makes a person old. It is the refusal to seek, to hope, to press onward. One may be young in body, but old in spirit if they have abandoned their desire to grow. And one may be advanced in years yet full of life if they still hold on to wonder, to purpose, to dreams. Some will say, "I have already done enough." But enough for what? Who has set this measure? The river does not stop flowing because it has traveled far. The sun does not stop shining because it has risen 1,000 times before. Why then should you stop simply because you have seen many days? There is work yet to do, kindness yet to give, wisdom yet to share. And in that work, in that giving, in that sharing, there is meaning. To believe you are finished is to turn away from the very things that make life rich. Even if you have achieved great things, there is still more to achieve. Even if you have loved deeply, there are still more hearts to touch. Even if you have walked many roads, there are still paths left to be discovered. The greatest sorrow in life is not in growing old, but in believing that growing old means the end of purpose. Yet all around us, nature whispers the truth. Seasons may change, but life never ceases. A tree may shed its leaves, but it does not cease to be a tree. Each day is a chance to begin again, to learn something new, to set another goal, to shape the world in some way, however great or small. There is no rule that says only the young may start anew. If anything, the wisdom of age makes new beginnings all the more powerful. Think of the world's greatest minds, the world's most compassionate hearts. Were they silent in their later years? Did they sit idly, waiting for time to pass? No, they pressed on, because they understood that the journey is never truly over. Many who have walked long roads have found that the most meaningful steps were not taken at the beginning, but near the end. That the most profound realizations, the greatest acts of love and wisdom, come not in youth, but in the seasons beyond. Would you refuse the fruit of a tree simply because it has taken years to grow? Would you turn away from a melody simply because it was composed in later years? No, because age does not diminish worth. If anything, it deepens it. The world is full of those who believe they are too late. But imagine if they had dared to believe otherwise. Imagine how much beauty, how much wisdom, how much kindness the world would lose if every person decided their time had passed before it truly had. Do not let the world tell you that you are done. Do not let the mirror convince you that your best days are behind you. Do not let the slow passing of time trick you into believing that it has stolen your purpose. You are still here. You are still needed. There is still work to do. The world may change, but the need for wisdom, for kindness, for courage never fades. And those who have walked through life's trials are the very ones who are best equipped to offer these things. What if, instead of asking what you have lost, you asked what you still have to give? What if, instead of looking at what is gone, you looked toward what is still possible? What if, instead of believing it is too late, You believed that now is the perfect time. A story is not defined by how it begins, but by how it ends. And the best stories are those that rise in their final pages, that leave behind a legacy not of regret, but of impact. And so, you must ask yourself, what do you want your final pages to say? That you sat in silence, believing yourself finished? Or that you stood up one more time and reached forward into what still could be? There is no shame in growing older. The only shame is in believing that age is a reason to stop. That is a lie that has stolen too much from too many, and you must not let it steal from you. Each step you have taken, each lesson you have learned, each moment you have lived, all of it has prepared you for what comes next. You are not weaker now. You are stronger because you have endured. The young may have energy, but you have wisdom. They may run fast, but you know where the road leads. They may dream, but you know what dreams are worth pursuing. This is not the time to stop. It is the time to share what you know, to guide, to inspire, to lead. If you have been waiting for a sign, let this be it. If you have been waiting for permission, you do not need it. If you have been wondering whether you still have a place in this world, the answer is simple. You do. No one is finished until the final breath is drawn. And even then, who is to say the journey does not continue beyond what we can see? But as long as you remain in this world, your work in it is not done. So rise, not because the world expects it, but because you know the truth. The story is still being written. The dream is still alive, and the road still stretches onward. Look around you. The sun still rises. The stars still shine. The wind still moves through the trees. And if all of these things still continue, why should you not? Let the young watch and learn from you, not by seeing you surrender, but by seeing you press forward. Let them see that courage does not belong to youth alone, but to those who choose it, at any age. Life does not ask how old you are before it offers you another chance. It only asks if you are willing to take it. The choice has always been yours, and when the final page does turn, when the last breath is drawn, let it not be said that you faded, but that you lived, that you burned bright until the very end, that when your story closed, it was not with regret, but with the satisfaction of a life well and fully lived. Because in the end, it will not be your age that defines you. It will be the dreams you dared to dream, the roads you dared to walk, the goals you dared to set, even when others told you it was too late. And so, do not whisper, "It is over." Do not sigh, "I am finished." Say instead, "There is still more to do." Say, "I will dream again." Say, "I will begin again." Because you are never too old to set another goal. You are never too old to dream a new dream. And as long as there is breath in your lungs and light in your eyes, the journey is not over yet.